What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Got a lot of interesting news for you guys in this video. Let's see how much we can get to. Ready? Here we go. Okay, first up, a federal judge orders the Pentagon leaker, alleged Pentagon leaker, to be held until trial. A lot of people were concerned about him fleeing. A federal judge ordered the alleged classified document leaker, Jack Teixeira, to be held in jail until he faces trial. Ahead of his determination, Judge David Hennessy in U.S. District Court of Massachusetts said Teixeira had twice been warned by his military superiors about the proper handling of classified material. He said the suspected Pentagon leaker committed a profound breach of his word that he would protect information related to the security of the United States, and clearly went against that. Who did he put at risk? I mean, you could make a list as long as the phone book, the judge said at the hearing. Wow. The DOJ prosecutors revealed in court filings that Teixeira was caught taking notes of classified documents or viewing intelligence not under his purview in September and October. And that was before he got a little more ballsy and literally just started copying the actual classified documents. Yeah. Congressman George Santos, who's now indicted on multiple charges, lists himself as the treasurer of his campaign after the indictment. That might explain why there's some fishy paperwork or sketchy numbers with what's going on here. Yeah, Representative George Santos, Republican from New York, has listed himself as his re-election campaign treasurer following the indictment filed against him earlier this month. A filing showed. The campaign updated its filing to the FEC, Federal Election Commission, to list Santos himself as the treasurer. He's facing 13 federal charges, including 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, 1 count of theft of public funds, and 2 counts of making materially false statements to the House of Representatives. And this comes after he literally admitted lying about his background and even about his mother and all sorts of things. This guy's literally just a bag of lies, and he's in a whole slew of trouble. He'll be lucky if he doesn't wind up in prison. You can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Priscilla Presley request to be buried next to Elvis at Graceland was denied. Yeah, I seen this and I was like, wow, I wonder why. But you might not believe why. And I had to dig into the details here. Can you guess why? Yeah, take a look here. Yeah, before coming to an agreement with Riley Keough and Michael Lockwood over Lisa Marie Presley's estate, Priscilla Presley reportedly had one request that was almost immediately denied. She wanted to be buried next to her late husband, Elvis Presley. Of course, some people will be like, is Elvis Presley not alive? Yeah, TMZ reported here this week, citing sources with direct knowledge that the request was a non-starter and that Priscilla backed down from her requests without much discussion. Priscilla had requested to be buried next to the King of Rock and Roll at Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee. The problem is Elvis's mother, Gladys, is buried to the right of him in the meditation garden, and his father, Vernon, is buried to the left of him, meaning if Priscilla got her way, one of Elvis's parents would have to move. For good measure, Lisa Marie's late son, Benjamin, who died in 2020, is buried to the left of Vernon. Lisa Marie's buried next to Benjamin. Yeah, this comes after they finally struck a deal over Lisa Marie's estate, bringing an end to a months-long battle, according to sources. Yeah, even some Democrats here, including Ro Khanna, congressman from longtime congressman from California, re-ups the call for Senator Dianne Feinstein to resign after her return to the Senate, saying, quote, "It's painful to watch." Well, this is because Dianne Feinstein is 89 years old and is, I think she's recovering from shingles. This is a obviously earlier picture from her. She's 89 years old now, and she has announced her retirement, but has come back. And people are saying that, well, her retirement was prematurely announced, and she's back to work now. And even some of the own Democrats are saying she needs to retire. She's not in good health, and she's almost 90 years old. She's 89 years old right now. So yeah. And this kind of goes along with the whole, should there be an age limit? Should there be a term limit on congressmen, presidents, senators? And honestly, we're looking at a possible rematch here of presidents, former President Donald Trump versus current President Biden. Both would be the oldest presidents ever if either of them is reelected. We look right now here, President Biden is 80 years old and former President Donald Trump is 76 years old, but he turned 77 in less than a month on June 14th. Okay. So basically, they're about 3 years apart. Okay. So Trump will be 77 and Biden will be 80. Biden turns 81 in November here. So when next year's election comes up next year, um, Biden will be 81 and Trump will be 77, or Biden will be almost 82 and 77, something along those lines here. And then you fast forward 4 more years, you're looking at like 86 and 81, or 85 and 81, or something like that. They're both in their 80s. I mean, at what point is enough enough? Of course, there's no age limits. There is a age minimum. You have to be 35 to be a president. There is actually a age minimum for Congress. No person shall be a representative who shall not be at least 25 years of age and been 7 years a citizen of the United States and been an inhabitant of the state in which he shall be chosen. Interesting. And for the Senate, the Constitution sets 3 qualifications for the U.S. Senate: at least 30 years of age, U.S. citizenship for at least 9 years, and residency in the state a senator represents at the time of election. Yeah, so you guys can let me know your thoughts. Of course, this kind of begs the question, should there be an age maximum for congressmen, congresswomen, and or presidents? You guys can let me know your thoughts here. Of course, if they enact one now, we would have Trump and Biden say, oh, that's unconstitutional. You're infringing on my rights, et cetera, for either of them, right? Yeah. Now, maybe after this term, we could maybe enact something like that. Because honestly, we should, but it seems like stuff like this never gets done. Yeah. Now, we've been screaming for term limits in Congress forever. Of course, that never gets done either. At least with presidents and congressmen, congresswomen, they have to get voted in. Presidents get to get voted in every 4 years, and there's a term limit for them. They can only be in there twice. China actually just broke their rule. They're supposed to only be voted in twice as well. And they literally changed their constitution, or, their whatever, their version of the Constitution, and voted President Xi in there for a third time unanimously. It was like, thousands of their congressmen all voted for him. unanimously, if that's not a dictatorship and everybody literally scared of him, you can let me know your thoughts on that. But yeah, so that was literally crazy. That'd be like, changing the Constitution for Putin. Everybody votes for him and say, "Oh no, Putin, you can stay president for life." Imagine if we did that here in the United States and said, "Oh no, whoever the president is, you can be for there for a third term and a fourth and a fifth and a sixth and just stay there forever." Yeah, I know you can't make this stuff up. At least with congressmen, congresswomen, and presidents, first of all, presidents have a two-term limit, thank God. It used to not be that way. At least for senators and congressmen, they have to be voted in every 2 years for congressmen or 6 years for senators. At least there's that. I think the worst of it all is for Supreme Court justices. First of all, Americans don't even get to directly vote on them. And then even worse than that, they're not up for reelection. So once they're in there, they can be as corrupt as possible, whether left, right, or center. And no matter what they do, 5 years later, 10 years later, 15 years later, there's basically no real way to get them out, and we can't re-vote on them. So they could make terrible decisions, and the members of the United States can't vote them out. It's literally like the worst decision, and we're kind of seeing some of that right now. Of course, different people have different opinions on things here, but the American people can't go to a voting booth and say, "All right, we want to vote this person out." Supreme Court justice really needs some reforming there. It's a bad system to say, okay, the American people can't even vote on it. A president gets to elect them, the senators get to appoint them, and then they're there for life. It's a very, very bad system because they're not held accountable. The American people should have to be voted on, even if they have 10-year terms, which is really not great. I mean, 6-year terms, what senators have, should be the absolute maximum. And people should be able to vote and say, listen, if we don't like the job you're doing, we could vote your ass out. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. If you haven't yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. And here's some videos you should watch next. The IRS just sent out a warning for millions of Americans in this video, and multiple impeachments were just filed on multiple people. So click on this video here to see that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.